Survivor Series is 12 days away, and it's honestly a very interesting situation, which we'll get to a little bit later. But first of all, we should talk about the Survivor Series being the 25th year of The Undertaker. And it's very interesting because I remember, well, I wasn't born at this time, but I remember like looking back at this match when The Undertaker was debuting as a part of the $1 Million Team. I believe it was. I want to make sure. I want to say it was obviously Ted DiBiase was on the team, but I want to say it was also Rhythm and Blues, the Honky Tonk Man, and Greg Valentine, which at that time formed the team Rhythm and Blues, which made Greg Valentine the worst rock and roller of all time. He was really, compared to standards today, it was really bad. Oh my God. You probably see that. You actually probably see a gimmick like that today, no less than the '90s and '80s and shit like that. But it was Reverend Blues, DiBiase, and the man we know as The Undertaker, which at the time was managed by Brother Love, aka Bruce Pritchard, who I think now is back with WWE. Last time I remember him, he was with TNA in some kind of capacity, but that's not happening anymore, so he's in WWE in some capacity now. But a couple of months after that, we had the amazing union of Undertaker, and at the time, a brilliant pun, and a brilliant guy, William Moody, with the brilliant pun of The Undertaker being managed by a pallbearer. And the rest is history. And at that time, just keep in mind that Survivor Series, unlike the Survivor Series traditional matches we saw last week, back in those days it was still 4-on-4, I believe, except for the match beyond or whatever it was that one Survivor Series, like the winners of whatever match would face the winners of the others. It was like the face team versus the heel team, pretty much, which was very interesting for that time. But anyway, The Undertaker, 25 years later, I remember. In 1991, the first thing I ever saw of this man was when he won the then WWF Championship against a man who is redacted in the company, Hulk Hogan, with the help of Ric Flair, who at the time was the real world champion. It was a great time in '91 to be around. But I mean, 1990 to right now, The Undertaker has been the conscience, the mind, body, and soul of the WWE. And last night on Raw, we could see the potential of one or two things happening. They haven't announced it, but I'm just going to speculate on this point. With the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker, who are also been around for a very long time as well. Kane's been around since '97 in Bad Blood, unless you don't want to count Dr. Isaac Yankem, Unabomber, Fake Diesel, and a bunch of other gimmicks. Unabomber, I think I already said Unabomber, but Creature, God, there was so much shit can to deal with to begin with. That's another story for another time. But for the past few weeks, Bray Wyatt, after Hell in a Cell, the Wyatt family took The Undertaker and held him like in a cross-like symbol, like Jesus being sent to the cross with nails and everything. Except there were no nails at this point, and there was not a Undertaker symbol or anything like that. It was just them carrying him out like Jesus of Nazareth or something like that. And they did the same to Kane the night after. Now, for the past few weeks, Bray Wyatt said he has consumed the souls of The Undertaker and Kane, which is a great fucking gimmick, because now you had him like having lightning and thunder and like fire and all kinds of shit. It was amazing last week. And last night, technically last afternoon, because of the UK delay being taped from a 6-hour, it's probably a 6-hour delay from when Raw was actually aired to when it was taped. So I want to say 6 hours in advance. Spoilers are everywhere. And much like tonight will be for SmackDown, even though there's spoilers for SmackDown anyway, because it's taped on Tuesday, which is today. If you're watching this, it's Tuesday, where this was, so SmackDown's obviously being taped and whatever. But I digress. I honestly see one of two things happening with this. Either The Undertaker and Kane face Bray Wyatt and one of the Wyatts in a tag match or something, or actually 3 ways actually. Could be Kane faces one of the Wyatts, and then Undertaker faces one of the Wyatts later on, or something like that. Or they could do a Survivor Series match, and be ironic with the Undertaker debuting in a Survivor Series match. Technically, because there's a story about Undertaker having the name Kane as Undertaker another time as well. But technically, we could have the match, a Survivor Series match, have the Brothers of Destruction and 2 other people. Even maybe have a ministry reunion of some sorts. Have Gangrel and someone else maybe. Because Viscera's dead. I don't think they can have Viscera in that capacity. He's dead, obviously, but Undertaker and maybe who else was in the fucking ministry they could use? That's actually in good standing with WWE. Maybe the Acolytes, because the Acolytes were in there for a while. Just put JB on there for the hell of it. Why not? I don't know actually what we do there, but Undertaker, Kane, and 2 other people against the entire Wyatt family in a Survivor Series match, 4-on-4. Or we're gonna do 5-on-5. Have fucking Sister Abigail and then have a Diva team up. I don't fucking know. Do something. Just something to make the Undertaker's return mean something. And the UK was the best crowd in the world last night. That's why I love the UK. I love the people in the UK, the fans in England and all over the UK. But unfortunately, we'll get that in a little bit, because there's one match we want to go to before that. It is Baby Flair, Charlotte versus Paige, as Paige recently won a number of contendership fatal 4-way against Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. And I want to say Natalya, but I'm not sure. I think someone else was in the match. I don't remember. I want to say Natalya was in there, but I'm not sure. Oh, Brie Bella, that's who it was. Brie Bella was in the match for some reason. And Paige won, obviously, and then these Paige bombs for the past few weeks have been amazing, especially in the UK. It was decent compared to what we've seen, but it was still good. And Charlotte recently winning the belt a couple pay-per-views ago, I believe, Night of Champions. Yeah, Night of Champions, so she's held it for like a month or 2 now. And as much as I would want Paige to win the title, I can honestly see this injury angle with Natalya, having Natalya come out and reform NBC with Becky and Sasha, not Becky and Sasha, Becky and Charlotte, and have some kind of thing going on with that, and then have a feud with that for some reason. I don't think Paige will win the title just because she just won the belt, and you want to have her be strong on a big pay-per-view like Survivor Series. It's just like if you had her at WrestleMania or the Rumble coming up as well. Going to make her look strong and have her to be the champion, unless you're wanting to do something with Paige and Charlotte, trade out the titles or something. I don't know. But honestly, I feel Charlotte will win the match. And finally, the unfortunate news of Seth Rollins losing the title due to injury. It made my leg hurt just looking at it. Like it was in Ireland like a week or 2 ago, and I think it was last week actually. Yeah, last week, Seth and Kane had a match. Some kind of, I don't know if it was no DQ, but I saw a table in the ring, so it was probably some stipulation of that kind. And Seth went for a sunset flip powerbomb off the top, or I think it was on the second or on the top or somewhere. He flipped over, and like he landed on his knee. I can't describe it good. If you see it, it'll make more sense, but like his leg kind of like slanted a little bit as he landed, which tore his ACL, MCL, and his medial meniscus, which meant, unfortunately, that Seth Rollins would have to vacate the WWE Championship, to have the man, myth, and legend known as Vacant be the only man in history to hold the TNA and WWE titles at the same time, which is amazing. An amazing accomplishment. First ballot Hall of Famer is Vacant. I know for sure Vacant will be a Hall of Famer. But this sets up something we have not seen, ironically, since Survivor Series, and that is the Deadly Game from 1998. It was fucking amazing, and I honestly wish they could have done this at Survivor Series, but you know, leaving it out there for no champion for about 2 weeks is probably a no-go. So if this happened maybe at the last minute, they could probably do something like that. But on Raw, we saw in front of a amazing, ruckus, beautiful UK crowd, We saw Roman Reigns destroy the Big Show, and Roman Reigns did not want to take the title because technically Roman Reigns could have had the title. He's number one contender. He also won it in a fatal four-way against Kevin Owens, who we also saw, Cesaro, who we also saw, and I want to say Ambrose, but I'm not sure on that. No, it was Ziggler, so we also saw him too as well. And on Raw we saw about 5 matches. So here's the standings so far. Roman Reigns defeated the Big Show. Cesaro defeated Sheamus. Owens defeated Titus O'Neil in pretty much a squash. Ziggler defeated The Miz in a decent match. And the surprise, Ambrose defeated Tyler Breeze. I honestly thought they would have a Breeze Ziggler match in the next round, but I guess that's not the case anymore. You know, they could probably have Breeze interfere in the next match next week and have Ambrose advance due to interference because of that or something like that. Or Breeze can just fucking attack both of them, and then Owens, or whoever wins the Owens and whoever wins Neville and Barrett on SmackDown would fight off to have a bye to the final. You could go that way too. But as of right now, the match tonight on SmackDown will be interesting. It'll be Owens already advanced. Neville versus King Barrett, who Barrett actually had a altercation with Wayne Rooney of the Manchester United Football Club, which was very interesting, to say that much. Alberto Del Rio faces Stardust, again, probably much of a squash, and speaking of squashes, fucking Kalisto. I feel bad for him. He faces Ryback. So unless you want to push Kalisto as a single star, I can already say Ryback will advance for sure. But out of the remaining people, and I'll do this probably every time there's an update on the bracket here, out of the people who I feel would be in this match, I mean, Reigns and Cesaro, as much as I would love to have Cesaro in the semifinals, they're going to make Roman Reigns champion, or at least have a Shield kind of thing going on where one of them turns heel. So, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, Cesaro will probably lose the match and Reigns will advance. As far as Alberto Del Rio and Stardust, again, Stardust, I don't even know why he's in this. Maybe because Neville's still in at this point. You can have a Neville... No, because they're on opposite brackets. So that would mean Neville and Stardust are in the final, and Lord knows they're not going to fucking do that. Stardust and Rio, I want to say Alberto Del Rio just because he currently holds the AAA Mega Championship, which is the world title in AAA, a very respected company in Mexico. It has the potential to have not only that world title, but the WWE world title and the United States title, or the Mex-American title, whatever you want to call it, at the same time. That would be an amazing, amazing feat for sure. Kalisto and Ryback, like I said, Ryback, there's no doubt in my mind, just because I don't think they'll push Kalisto that far to face Del Rio. If they did, maybe it'd be a good clash of Lucha style here, but I don't think they'll do that. Owens isn't facing anybody right now, so I can't say anything about that. Neville and King Barrett. Now I'm going to play a little bit of an armchair booker here. Because Barrett was not interfered, but just because he was slapped by Rooney, I honestly feel to do something like that tonight, and then Neville would advance. And at that point, I would feel Owens would advance to face the winner of the next match, Ziggler and Ambrose, which is not till next week, I don't think. But again, Breeze interfered, something like that would happen. At that point, it would be Ambrose, Owens, Reigns, and let me see, Del Rio and Ryback, so it would probably be Del Rio. At that point, Del Rio would probably lose. Owens would probably beat Neville, or Owens would beat Ziggler because of the interference, and then it would be Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, the Intercontinental Champion versus the WWE Champion. And I honestly hate to say it, but Roman Reigns will go down for sure. I can believe that. And with that being said, we'll keep you up to date with any more tournament rankings and anything like that, because SmackDown are taping. We'll see what happens with that, and Survivor Series is a couple weeks away, but it'll be a great show because a new champion is guaranteed to happen.